So Chris Eubanks Jr. basically comes out and says that he signs a deal with Boxer, a new company that has basically Ben Shalom overseeing part of the operations. But overall, they got some stuff going down with Canelo Alvarez as well. Now, before, Crawford had said a couple of months ago that he was thinking about possibly entertaining a fight with Chris Eubanks at 160. A lot of people gave him a lot of flack because they feel like that wasn't a good enough fight for him. I mean, if you realize the expectation for Crawford is just, bro, he got to be considered one of the best ever. With the expectations he be getting lately, he was talking about going up 2 weight classes to fight a guy. And they said that wasn't good enough, which is insane. But overall, Canelo's saying now that he wants to entertain possibly a fight with Chris Eubanks in London. And some other reports coming out talking about the reason being is because the UFC situation that weekend for Mexican Independence Weekend. I don't understand that because I feel like Canelo, like, bro, I know they're not saying he needs to reschedule because of a UFC event, which is crazy to me. He got a UFC event making him reschedule? Come on, man, that's insane. He's getting rescheduled because of a UFC event. I don't know if people thinking about that like the way I'm thinking about it. He has to do a whole nother situation because of UFC, which is crazy. If you think about it overall, he got to switch the whole situation because of UFC event. It's allegedly, but that's what I'm hearing, man. That's not pretty good when you a guy like Canelo. Like, bro, come on now. What's really going down to the point where you got to turn around and actually compete with a UFC event? What are these people at UFC actually doing? Because they taking over to the point where they making him reschedule. Oh yeah, boxing is at a low peak right now. If we got Canelo getting out the way for a UFC event on Mexican Independence during that time period, that's insane. I don't care what nobody says. For that to happen during that time period, that's insane. That means you getting overlooked all the way. That's crazy. But overall, man, I don't think he getting the same kind of criticism that Terrence Crawford is getting, because he's going down in weight to fight a guy. What? Ain't Eubanks like a 60, a middleweight, ain't he? If he is super middleweight, he ain't naturally a super middleweight. I'll tell you that right now. He's definitely not naturally a 168 super middleweight. Absolutely not. I hope we're not going to push that kind of narrative. Yeah, he a good fighter and everything, but man, come on. Like, what are we doing? We lowered. But I knew Canelo was going to do something like that. I told people recently, I said, hey, Canelo ain't got no fans like that. Like, he needs to go overseas and try to make something happen. I know he's been fighting a lot of guys overseas lately. So he done built up enough fans over there to actually make something happen. But yeah, they trying to get some money back on the tickets and stuff like that. So they don't think Berlin gonna be able to sell like that in Vegas around that time. And I heard something about going to Puerto Rico, but I don't think Canelo's going to Puerto Rico to fight. It ain't gonna get. It's not that deep. But as far as him going to London, yeah, that's an option. It's a money move. They're going to have a couple of big fights out there. I mean, at this point right now, he chilling. He don't really care about where he fights at. But in my mind, I thought he would have fought Munguia in Mexico or something like that. That would have made more sense to me. If we're talking about a money move, that would have made more sense. Would have had 2 fights out there instead of chasing John Ryder out there. Get Benavidez, get Munguia. That's 2 fights in Mexico. Boom. Okay, what we doing now? That's how I was looking at it. I don't know why everybody else didn't look at it that way anyways. Get those 2 fights. Get Benavidez. Get Munguia. Could have ran those 2 fights in Mexico. Those would have been 2 money fights. But now, he's trying to go fight Eubanks in London. So you got to go where Eubanks at? Oh, man. I've been telling people. People been saying, oh, he's the face of boxing. Ain't no faces of boxing right now. Not doing that. Nah. Nuh-uh. Nah, man. This is becoming everything I said it become. I told y'all, certain guys are chasing certain people. Only certain people making the big fights. Everybody who making the big fights happen right now is getting laughed at. Everybody who chasing the outrageous fights, fighting guys on PEDs and everything else, they get laughed at. These other guys, they reaching down to middleweights and getting middleweights and getting these super welterweights, these welterweights. What's going on with all this stuff? Like, this is disgusting. Dudes going down 2 or 3 weight classes to get opponents. Stuff I never seen before in boxing. Then you got guys who weigh 50 pounds more than an opponent, gaining 20 more pounds before the fight. Just it's crazy stuff. Like, and people want to talk about weight bully stuff. Come on, man. This is getting out of hand. Shouldn't even be an option. Shouldn't even be an option. It's outrageous that the man is even an option, man. It's outrageous. But I see what's going on. Yeah, I'm glad Canelo's around to expose it, because people don't really want to let everything get put out there, man. They really don't. I mean, they're going to criticize regardless. But this is what people don't understand. We've been calling everything out for a long time, but people don't want to let people call it out, though. With certain boxers, they excuse it, but, man, we criticize everybody the same, especially around this way. With Canelo, ain't no way he should be doing that stuff. No way. The stuff he pulling right now, nah, nobody else can pull this. Ain't trying to hold on to the belts. Man, just get out the way, man. And then people try to talk about Benavidez's last performance. I don't care about that. What does that got to do with what's going on? Just like how when Canelo lost at 75, that had nothing to do with 168, so I don't understand how a guy winning at 75 got anything to do with what he deserved at 68. Like, all that weird stuff going on around that. But chasing Eubanks, the same guy, they just said Crawford shouldn't be fighting. Look at the expectation for Crawford. So Crawford got higher expectations than Canelo. So who's really the face of boxing? Who's really on the best ever list? Because look like Crawford expectations is higher than Canelo's. Eubanks is good enough for Canelo, but not enough for Crawford. And Crawford's a smaller guy. At smaller weight class? Yeah. It's all getting exposed, man. It's all getting exposed. People just want to see certain guys lose, and Crawford on that list. They just want to see him lose. That's it. That's all it is. They got Canelo bubble wrap. That's crazy. They got him Eubanks. So he got to go to London to make some money now? He can't make nothing in Vegas no more? So y'all wasted all them years pushing him and Triple G, putting 3 fights together. Also, he can go chase Eubanks in London, which I knew was going to happen. I told y'all he was going to try to go overseas. I said he going to try to make a move like that. But that's all I got, man. Like and subscribe.